Now at 5, questions surrounding Florida's push to end vaccine mandates. Could it apply to your pets, too?
I could not believe that they would do such a thing for an established recreational facility such as this.
Plus, the back and forth over a sporting facility likely headed to court. And later, it's all everyone is talking about online this weekend after a woman takes a home run baseball from a little boy's glove in Florida. Hear from the family about that viral incident. You're watching News 6 at 5.
Resolve 3.
First, though, at 5, storms popping up across central Florida.
Here is a live look at 417 in Seminole County. It looks messy out there. Let's get you over to meteorologist Jonathan Kegas. Jonathan?
Yeah, guys, we're watching a lot of storms out there tonight, as you can see clearly there. The rain is coming out heavy. We'll take it closer into the 417, and you see all the rain there. It is getting much lighter, relatively speaking, to where it was about 30 minutes to an hour ago. Part of that cell now sliding into East Orange County. This is just east of the airport, and you see the very, very heavy rainfall continuing to slide down. Again, watching this closely in St. Cloud. We're dry right now, but the motion of this is to bring that all straight down. So we'll be watching that to see if that motion continues. Back to the west, still some very heavy rain. It's pretty much just parked on us. This is the situation, again, you can get ourselves into, especially with how much moisture there is in the atmosphere for some of that minor flooding. So again, been watching this closely for you guys in Asatula.
Lisa's reading,
on the
Matt's
southern end of
walking
that. So we've been on the dry earth side, and then also this newly developed thunderstorm as things are building from the east to the west, but the motion is from the west to the east tonight. Webster into Center Hill, very heavy rainfall continuing. I've got my eye on all of this. We'll talk about the rest of the evening and more unsettled weather to come for the next several days at about 5:17.
Ready,
guys.
3.
Jonathan, thank you. Well, it's yet another battle brewing between state officials and the Orange Osceola County State Attorney's Office.
Florida Attorney General James Uthmeyer says Worrell's office is getting a deadly road rage case wrong. You may remember this shooting near the Target on Colonial Drive in Orlando around last Christmas. Tina Algio is accused of shooting and killing Mikhail Svetkov. She claims she was standing her ground, acting in self-defense after a road rage incident had escalated. Monique Worrell's office disagreed and filed charges, but the state attorney general said it should have been thrown out due to self-defense. In a court hearing earlier this year, we saw surveillance video appearing to show Svetkov opening Algio's car door. Algio and her defense team claim Svetkov then punched her several times before she grabbed her gun, which she owned lawfully, and shot Svetkov. Prosecutors say Algio instigated the incident when she hit his car, which Algio says was an accident. News 6's Mike Valenti spoke with Algio's attorney, who said he had mixed feelings about the state attorney general getting involved in this case. Hear what else he had to say ahead at 6.
Take 1.
Orlando city leaders voted to move forward with funding for a permanent Pulse memorial to honor the 49 lives lost during the Pulse mass shooting in 2016. This funding plan is an agreement between Orange County and the city of Orlando. Orange County has pledged $5 million and the city committing $7 million, making a grand total of $12 million over 3-year payments. Gomez Construction Company will be the construction firm that will design and build the memorial. Construction is expected to begin in 2026 with hopes of it wrapping up by 2027.
We are continuing to ask questions about the state's unexpected announcement that Florida will begin the process of phasing out vaccine mandates. In 90 days, mandates for several vaccines, including hepatitis B, chickenpox, and meningitis, are expected to end. Mandates for other shots, including measles, polio, diphtheria, pertussis, and mumps, would have to be lifted by the state legislature, as public health officials across the country have continued to voice their concerns about the move to eliminate mandates. The governor doubled down on the need for parental choice today.
Sound roll.
Parents are provided information. They're not being coerced. They're doing it. And I think when given accurate information, I think they're going to do what's best for their kids. I mean, everyone wants their kids to grow up to be healthy.
Lawmakers meet again in early January. That's when they can decide to lift the mandate for other vaccines like measles and polio. But an interesting wrinkle in this vaccine mandate discussion is if the state will get rid of all the mandates, as state leaders pledged to do so last week.
The state mandates vaccines for not just people, but also pets. In a one-on-one interview with Florida's Lieutenant Governor, News 6's Laverne McGee asked if all vaccine mandates will be repealed, even for those things like rabies.
Roll take.
For many people, dogs and cats are family members. But now Florida Surgeon General says vaccines should not be mandatory for kids.
Camera 1, 2 shot, camera 3 at the
So what about people who consider their pets their children? According to Florida law, all dogs, cats, and ferrets 4 months of age or older must be vaccinated by a licensed veterinarian or a person authorized against rabies with a vaccine that is licensed by the United States Department of Agriculture for use in those species. We spoke with veterinarian Dr. Aaron Lindblad, owner of Garden Veterinary Clinic, about why the rabies vaccine doesn't just protect pets, but people too.
I would say the most important thing is that's what we call a zoonotic disease, meaning that it can be transferred from animals to humans. So it is a human health hazard. So it's very important because people can get the disease, but also the disease is fatal.
Ginger IFB check.
There really
Thank you.
There really isn't a cure
so we
or
got
treatment
camera 1, 2 shot, and then camera 3, Ginger at the reporter wall coming up next.
It is fatal.
So does the vaccine prevent you from dying from rabies?
Yes.
Vaccinate your pets for rabies. The Florida Department of Health also has this rabies prevention video on its website. It warns the rabies virus is very deadly, with nearly 100% fatal illness in humans and other mammals. I asked Lieutenant Governor Jay Collins, who has just been appointed to Florida's new Make America Healthy Again Commission, about vaccinations for pets. There's a law that says their dogs and cats have to have rabies shots. Is that something that you would look at?
Well, I think it's outside the scope of what we're talking about, but if people want to have that conversation, I would invite them into my office.
Collins didn't rule out repealing the rabies mandate, which for now remains in effect, with vets calling the vaccine life-saving.
I have no concerns when it comes to the vaccine.
Pan a little left on one.
It's a vaccine that's been around for years. And, you know, I think anytime you're looking at a vaccine, you have to look at the risk versus the benefit. But in this situation, I do feel like the risk is pretty high to not vaccinate your pet from rabies.
On Wednesday, Orange County Animal Services will be giving free vaccinations to cats from 8 a.m. to noon at the shelter on Conroy Road.
4.
In Orlando, your community correspondent Laverne McGee, News 6.
Take 1, 2
Tonight we are learning new details about 2 Central Florida students facing charges after bringing guns to school.
News 6 anchor Ginger Gadsden has the details about both of these cases. Ginger.
Matt and Lisa, we begin with a case from this morning that has a young child in serious trouble today with the law. Ocala police officers were called to College Park Elementary School this morning after students on the bus saw a 4th grader on that bus with a gun and then told the driver about it.
Officers boarded the
bus and were led in the direction of a 9-year-old who had this loaded revolver near his seat. Detectives learned it was taken without permission from a relative's secured bedroom.
Lisa needs to go to the weather wall.
Took the gun the day before and simply had it to show to other students, but claimed he didn't mean to hurt anyone. The boy was detained and taken to the Department of Juvenile Justice. He's facing multiple charges, including possession of a firearm on school property, carrying a concealed firearm, armed burglary, grand theft of a firearm, and more. Ocala police say because the boy is just 9 years old, they are not identifying him. Meanwhile, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office says a student at Flagler Palm Coast High School went up to the school resource deputy saying another student pointed a gun at them in the bathroom of the McDonald's in the Palm Coast Town Center. Now, officials say Sean Goska Jr. was hanging out with the victim and other students after school, but they thought he had the gun at school. He first told deputies he was at the McDonald's but didn't have a gun, but deputies learned he posted a video of the incident to social media and deleted it. Then, when they brought it up to Goska, he told deputies the gun was in his bedroom, which they say was found loaded. He told investigators he did point the gun at the other student and took the gun to school, but said he was just playing around. Goska was arrested for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon without intent to kill, possession of a firearm on school property, and possession of a firearm by a minor. Now, both the Ocala Police Department and Flagler County Sheriff's Office credited students who reported the incidents to law enforcement to keep students safe in school and, of course, on the bus. Lisa.
Ready.
Ginger, thank you.
White.
As
Mount
we take
Dora,
a live look
live.
at
Ginger's
our
clear.
city of
Mike
Mount
down.
Dora, Cam, a lot of people love visiting this little
Ready,
slice
camera one,
of Lake
Lisa.
County, but not
Dissolve
when it
one.
comes to parking there. That has been an issue
And a
that's
little
been
left.
frustrating drivers for years. But today the city is expected to begin the process of finding a
Animation
solution.
will
Lake
package
County
next.
community correspondent Mark Lehman
Got a
is
little too
looking
tight
at
in
the
there.
options on the table to make things easier
Ready,
the next
package.
time you visit Mount Dora.
Package roll.
There are a few different proposals that will be discussed during today's parking workshop.
I remember
One
we got
of
the
which is
radar box and
downtown paid parking here, which may get some pushback, and the hope is that
The
will
bug.
free up some of the most in-demand spaces and also pay to shuttle in people who park further away.
Yes, 28
What's the
through
parking
30 are
situation
dead.
like on
The bump
weekends?
is next.
Horrible. Bob Wade has lived in Mount Dora for nearly 3 decades, but he says in the last few years, driving downtown on busy days just hasn't been worth the hassle.
I don't come down on weekends simply because
33, 34 dead.
to downtown.
That mindset is why the city is working to find solutions to its parking problems.
See what works and what doesn't work, and we can go from there.
Mayor James Homich is holding a workshop Monday evening to review and gather community feedback on options to improve downtown parking. Among the proposals are reconfiguring spaces and converting 3 streets to one-way.
So that we could put in additional parking and still expand the accessibility for the emergency vehicles and the cars.
Another option is converting some spaces
40
to
away.
paid parking. It would
Camera
discourage
3,
residents
2-shot,
from
1
occupying
VO,
those all day,
then
and the
port
money
cam
would
and
be
a
used to
sponsor.
fund the freebie
Coming up
shuttle
next.
service that was launched last year. Homich says the options are limited because of Mount Dora's historic status, but everyone's goal remains the same.
Try to alleviate some of
20
the
left.
problems and make it more convenient for people visiting the downtown.
Now, the mayor says the city is also working to raise awareness about what lots are available and offer free parking.
10.
All of this will be discussed during tonight's workshop, which gets underway at 6 p.m. at
5,
Mount Dora City Hall.
4,
I'm your Lake
3,
County community correspondent,
2,
Mark Lehman, News 6.
Take 3, 2
Well, a
shots.
sporting club and the community it calls home are gearing up
Ready,
for a
VO?
big fight.
Take
And this
VO.
time it may be in the courtroom. Next at 5, why some
Ready,
say
port cam?
it never should have gotten to this point.
Dissolve port cam.
You're watching News 6 at 5. We'll be right back.
Sponsor
Today's
fire.
Port Canaveral Cam is sponsored
Break
by
next.
Launch Credit Union.
Fade to black break roll.